Hey everybody, Relic here from Relic's Vape, Southern Vapors Network. Uh, gonna be a little bit of a rant because I'm a little perturbed, a little disappointed, a little let down, a little ashamed, a little of a lot of negative feelings right now at this point. I was watching a broadcast earlier today, live stream from Rhode Island. I'm not gonna mention who did the broadcast because I support what they do, and in my opinion, what I'm going to talk about uh, does not reflect on this group of people at all. It represents or reflects on the people that were in the chat room. There were a lot of people up in Rhode Island today giving their testimony. Some not as prepared as others, uh, some doing their own little thing. But the one thing that distracted me the most throughout watching this broadcast was the chat room. I mean, it's great that we have that opportunity to where we can sit here and watch these bills going through and being debated, and we can educate ourselves on what we can do better at the next one. The problem being that I saw was there was a whole lot of trash talking. People, I mean, I'm sorry, but I felt like I was in high school sitting in the cool kids section and listening to all the cool kids talk shit about the other people. Um, the problem with that being is those other people, they were there. They were talking for us. Whether you didn't like the way they did it or not, they were still talking. They were still there making a presence. They were the ones that were being heard. We weren't being heard sitting in a chat room. And to be honest, I'm rather glad we weren't being heard sitting in that chat room because that chat room looked like a lot of high school kids, in my opinion. Um, it's not going to prevent me from going back to this channel and watching them every time they broadcast. It's not going to prevent me from watching what goes on in chat. It's going to hopefully help me promote a better way of people responding to how people are doing their testimony. One guy stood up with a poster board full of pictures of people, and they were about the size of IDs, photos, and it wasn't the whole ID, just a photo of an ID, and this poster board was full of these photos. And this gentleman owns a shop, and he says that in Rhode Island, if this tax goes through, then sorry, but these customers have already said we're going out of state to get what we need. We'll buy online to get what we need. We will spend our money that we earn in Rhode Island and we will ship it out to other states. We won't be supporting Rhode Island. And people actually didn't like that he stood up and did that. I don't know why, because they weren't seeing pictures when they looked at that poster board. They were seeing dollar signs coming from Rhode Island and going out to another state. That's what they were seeing. So, in my opinion, that was an excellent tool for them to use. Um, like I said, my main bitch with about what I saw today was the high school antics and actions and almost bully like behavior from the chatters in the chat room. I'm not going to call anybody out by name. I recognized a few of the names and I'm disappointed. Um, you guys need to realize that just because it is on a network that is dedicated to vapors does not mean that people from outside the vaping community aren't there, aren't watching, and aren't going to use that. I mean, somewhere down the line, somebody who wants to attack e-cigarettes is going to pull up and say, hey, look how these guys act. Chances are it probably won't happen, I know. But still, we with everything that's being brought down upon us, all the bans, all the taxes, we really need to conduct ourselves in a more adult-like manner. We need to know that our actions will be reflected on to the vapors community. There's a lot of things that I'd like to post on my Facebook wall, but because I'm so heavily into the vaping community, I don't post anymore because I don't want somebody coming back and throwing this shit up in my face. You know, I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. But to me, when these kind of shows are brought up and put on air, we all really do need to pay attention to it. We all really should be watching it. That show should be rated #1 anytime they're broadcasting something like that. Why do I think that? Because they're the ones that are trying to prevent unfair taxes onto us. They're the ones that are out there putting boots to sidewalks and taking the battle where it needs to be. I strongly support everything they do, and I will back them any way I can. And I will also reflect a positive image for them. And just something to think about when you guys are in a chat room. Use it as an educational experience. Don't trash talk how somebody like talks, like for sure you know. Um, Everybody's different. Taste is subjective, so is the way people talk, act, and react. Use it as an educational experience for when it's your turn to go up and testify, and you might drive 5 hours out of state to testify in another state and only spend 30 seconds testifying because your nerves are shot. I just hope you don't have to worry about, God, you know, somebody's watching this in a chat room somewhere and they're talking shit about me because I'm nervous and I feel out of my element, and well, why should I do it again? Golden rule? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. Remember, Southern isn't a place on the map. It's a place in your heart and soul. Peace.